Hi, today I'm going to teach you a little bit about electromagnetism. To know the basics about electromagnetism, you must know a little bit about charges. Charges are physical properties of matter and can be classified as positive or negative. While observing this, opposite charges attract each other and similar charges repel each other. There are three ways to transfer such charges to objects: friction, conduction, induction. The first is friction, which is when you rub two objects together, such as your feet on your home carpet. Different materials have different strength in electron bonds. For example, when you rub a piece of silk onto a glass cup, the silk holds onto your electrons stronger than the glass. Therefore, the silk will rip off the electrons off of the glass cup, making it become a positively charged material, while the silk will become negatively charged. Conduction is the second way, which is when you have physical contact. For example, when you put your finger into an electrical socket. Suppose your finger is neutral and it touched the negatively charged socket. Your finger now becomes negatively charged because of the transfer of charges. The third is charging by induction, where there is no physical contact. For example, when you barely touch your finger with the doorknob and you are shocked. Let's learn a little bit more about electric currents. Electric currents continuously flow of electrons in a conductor, which is measured in amps. Only occurs when there is an unstoppable flow of electrons. It is created by the voltage, which is the difference in potential energy in a circuit, or the push, in which is measured in volts. The electric current can be affected by the width, length, temperature, and material of the conductor. Here's an example of an electric current. Its relation. The voltage pushes current. The higher the voltage, the faster the current. A good example would be, imagine a small car. The car represents the current and your hand represents the voltage. To make the car move, you will need it to give a small push. This is what happens between voltage and current. The current is moved by the push produced by the voltage. The higher the voltage, the faster the current. Here's an example. This battery is of 11 volts. If I were to increase this, if I increase the push, you can see that the current speeds up. Resistance against current. Resistance is the force that opposes the flow of electrons. The more the resistance, the harder the current will flow. Here's an example. This is a resistor right here. Let's keep the voltage on 50 volts and change the ohms of the resistance. So the higher the resistance, the lower the flow of electrons. There are two types of materials, which are the conductors and insulators. The conductors help the flow of electrons. They have loosely bounded electrons, which means they can move around, and it's made of metal. Insulators slows down the current. Electrons bond are tightly put together, and it's made of rubber. An example would be an electrical wire. The copper would be the conductor because it helps the flow of electrons, and the insulator will be the rubber around the wire that protects your hand from an electrical shock. Ohm's law. The Ohm's law can be said to be resistance equals voltage divided by current. An example would be 9 volts of a battery with the currents 13 amperes would lead us to how many resistance or ohms? If you do the math correctly, you should come up with the answer 0.692 ohms. Electric circuits. There are two types of electric circuits, the parallel and series. Here are an example of both. This is a series circuit. You can see that all the light bulbs are aligned in only one place. If I happen to break one of these light bulbs, the whole entire circuit ends and does not work anymore. Here's an example of parallel. The good thing about the parallel is that they're much brighter than the original series circuit, and if one of my light bulb breaks, it continues to work. This can be seen in Christmas lights, and a series circuit can also be seen inside your television, for example. Power. The power is the rate in which an electric appliance transforms one type of energy into another. The voltage affects the power, so if the voltage is higher, then the rate is faster, therefore the appliance is more powerful. This is all you need to know about electromagnetism, as far as I'm concerned, to be the basic. Thank you and have a nice day.